Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome back to or however you identify yourself. Welcome back to another episode of Ray's Hot Takes, where I myself, Ray, share some hot takes. Now, today we have a special guest and my partner, Pepper. Now, Pepper, what do you have to say for the folks at home? Foul. Anyway, so today's episode and today's hot take that Ray will share is about the movie industry and about how, all right, I'm just going to say it. Hollywood doesn't know how to tell a story anymore. Oh my gosh, it's out there. Pepper, she's rather overjoyous today because of today's episode and today's topic. Now, get in there, Pepper. Wow. Oh my gosh, Pepper. So it's snowing outside currently. Don't lick the mic, please. And anyway, back to the episode. By golly, I'm jittery as balls. Oh, there's a tow truck. Oh, someone's car got stuck in the snow. Prayers up. Pepper. Alrighty. I've never done. Oh no, a false alarm. That's just a snowplow truck. I'm just blind. Anyway, so Hollywood doesn't know. Oh, there goes Danny. Bye. He's in his car driving away. Oh, I hope he doesn't get stuck like I did. Fun story. I got his car stuck twice. Only had to call the tow truck once though, so thank heaven for that. Anyway, today's topic. Now, this was made specially requested from Escalators, so link to his channel somewhere. Anyway, so today's topic, I've wasted a minute 45 of your time. Anyway, so Hollywood doesn't know how to tell stories now. Now they used to. I'll tell you that much. I didn't even know if it was Hollywood. Get in there! This guy's pedaling for his life, and he can't get through the snow. Oh, man. To be that man. Anyway, wasted 2 minutes of your time. Hollywood doesn't know how to tell stories. So, back in the Dizzy, when I was not alive, unfortunately, there were still big ongoing problems, but that's another hot take. They told good stories, man. You had It's a Wonderful... I'm just going to name off some right off the top of my head. You had It's a Wonderful Life, directed by Frank Capra. Wizard of Oz, directed by... Oh my gosh, I forgot his name. I'm so ashamed. 1939. It starts with an F. Oh man, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I call myself a... This is embarrassing. What's your favorite movie pre 1990s, I would say, Pepper? Really? Transformers, the movie. Incredible. Anyway, much like her owner. So It's a Wonderful Life. You had The Apartment by Billy Wilder. I'm just going to name a bunch of Billy Wilder movies. Some Like It Hot by Billy Wilder. Ace in the Hole by Billy Wilder. There was another Billy Wilder movie I forgot. I'm so ashamed. I can't pronounce the movie. I'm sorry, but it's directed by Ernst Lubitsch. He made some bunch of makers too. It Happened One Night, Frank Capra. Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, Frank Capra. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, Frank Capra. Meet John Doe, Frank Capra. He just made banger after banger after banger. Now, he actually stopped making movies at one point because he was just getting overwhelmed. You know, he was making hit after hit after hit, and he was just worried that he wasn't going to be able to sustain it and that he would fail, and, you know, the press would write all about it. You know how it goes. The pressure mounts up. And so he stopped for a while. And this was around the time of World War II, when Hitler was doing some bad things to an innocent group of people. And that's what they are, people, human beings. But he treated them like they were, what's the word? Oh, my teacher said it. Rodents, vermin. And so Frank stopped, and this was around that same time. And a really good filmmaker, I forgot her name, she made Trials... Oh my gosh, I should have came prepared. She made Trials of... Oh my gosh, give me 1 second, guys. I apologize. She made a film that inspired, this whole Nazi, propaganda to, join the cause and to, to be for this, to not second guess, hey, these are people. Why are we treating them like vermin? Why are we gas chambering these things? And so Frank's friend saw this film that this lady had made, incredible filmmaker, unfortunately, worked for the Nazis. Now, I think it's Triumph of the Will. Hold on. Triumph. This is embarrassing. Yeah, Triumph of the Will. And it was directed by uh what's a drum roll, Pepper, please. Thank you. Leni Riefenstahl. Now, incredible filmmaker, like I said. And so, she made this film. And you're gonna have to buy it if you want to watch it, like for $3.99 or whatever. But on online. But she made this film. And Frank's friend told Frank, I thought you were the best filmmaker I've ever seen until I saw this film. And then Frank was like, oh, they're going to win. They're going to win because of this lady and the incredible propaganda she was spreading. She was a magnificent storyteller. She was just spreading poison into the world instead of medicine. And so Frank was like, I got to get back to work if we're going to win. So what does he do? Boom. Joins the cause. And he makes some films within, within the war, about the war. And so you have these two incredible masters of their craft going head to head. And once Frank came back from the war, the first film he made was It's a Wonderful Life. And so he felt he had an incredible responsibility because of what this lady was spreading into the world, this poison, with these stories. And that's what stories can be used for. They can spread medicine or they can spread poison. And now this is what I think is wrong with Hollywood today. I feel Hollywood doesn't have the same conviction, the same ownership of responsibility on what they put out there. I'm just going to say it, another hot take. Joker was atrocious. Now, yeah, you can say, oh, it's shot well, the cinematography is beautiful. It was beautifully acted. I could give two rats' tails how that was. I want you to tell me, I want you to give me something that is not gonna hurt society, damage individuals. You are making us sympathize with this character who is mentally insane and who you can understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, you can just imagine this little kid watching this movie, already being bullied, and then he's like, you know what? I know what that feels like. And then boom, Murray's head gets blown off. And what do you think that does for that kid? You know, science has discovered mirror neurons. Basically, we as human beings watch other human beings and we can basically, experience what they're experiencing without going through that experience physically. And so, roughly, that's a rough definition. And so, Pepper, what do you have to say about this? That's incredible insight, Pepper. I really agree with you saying. Transformers, the movie, was really freaking cool. Weird Al Yankovic is pretty cool too. Um, and so, back to what I was saying. Hollywood is just putting out these movies without a care in the world in terms of the responsibility of what they're putting out there, as well as the craft itself, not honoring it, not respecting it. Because if they really respected it, you would tell better stories. You would try to help this world, essentially. And now, not every story has to be hopeful, like It's a Wonderful Life, because it gets dark in that movie. He tries to commit suicide. He wishes he was never even born. And then he learns that no man is a failure who has friends. And so, at least that's what it says on the postcard in the movie, from his guardian angel Clarence, who got his wings. But stories, back then, those filmmakers and storytellers and screenwriters, they had a responsibility. They felt they had an immense responsibility. Rod Serling especially, the creator of The Twilight Zone, the smoothest man, the coolest Joe I have ever seen in my life, man. It's just unfortunate we lost him. And Patty Chayefsky, they just felt an immense responsibility to what they were putting out there into the world. They understood that stories are made to be consumed. They're not owned by, oh, this is my story, I own it, it's mine, it's all mine, it's about me. They weren't caught up in their ego. They weren't like, this is mine, this is mine. They were like, this is a gift. This is something that I can use. This is a medium in which I can use to help somebody. Because it's as old as time itself. Every culture tells stories. And just back then, they got it. You read these interviews, you read these books by them, and you just, it just makes you sad because of what's been put out there today. And I guess that's what I want to do. I just want to bring it back to what stories were all about, spreading medicine, love, hope, joy, peace, spreading, oh, I already said medicine. I don't want to spread poison. It's very easy to be cynical, to to be dark. And not every dark movie's bad. I'm not saying that, because there are some darker aspects of humanity that we got to keep ourselves in check in, like uh, Goodfellas, The Godfather, things like that. And so this whole hot take has been about how Hollywood doesn't know how to tell stories anymore, because no one wants to. No one wants to. Except I'd say Taika Waititi. Jojo Rabbit was really freaking good. That would say is the best movie I've seen over the past decade. Just like as a story, and it was just immensely incredible. That was a weird way to phrase that, but Pepper, what do you have to say about this? Really, she was a fan of Transformers. Last night. Okay, Pepper. I think she's just a Transformers fan. Please not disregard. Just disrespect your opinion. Anyway, so storytelling used to mean something. It used to be a gift that was given unto us. And now we've exploited that gift for money, for profit, for status, for fame, recognition, attention, and to please your ego. And it's just, what good does that do for somebody? What does an overinflated ego do for somebody? And what does a bunch of money have to do with storytelling? I don't understand where it went wrong. E.T. was incredibly bold and courageous and being vulnerable. Shawshank, incredible, the same thing. Tootsie, and even action movies. From back then, Terminator 2, Aliens. These movies that you consider big blockbusters, Jaws. You know, they have quiet moments in that film because they're not afraid to lose the audience because they knew how to tell a story. They knew how to tell a story. They knew what stories were about, spreading survival information. Um, and to help, and when I say survival, I don't mean physical. You can spread emotional, cultural, societal, truths, of how to live or ways to live or things like that. Um, and so they just got it. And a lot of people think the action is what works. So we've taken the special out of special effects. Now it's just all special effects, and you got to amp them up because audiences just get used to it and used to it, and then you just blow up people's heads for no reason. Kingsman. Another hot take. But yeah, it just makes me upset when I watch movies nowadays, and I'm like, yeah, that I watch that. That's something, I guess, but it's not something I want to do. I don't want to just make a movie to please myself or to be like, oh, look at this. Look, notice me. Notice me. I've struggled with that a lot. And so I've been trying to suppress that ego and to help others. And so they just got it then. And nowadays, movies or story, they're just afraid they're going to lose people. So it's just all action in your face. Explosion, spaceship flying by, laser blast, incredible music. Well, not incredible, but triumphant looking music. Oh my gosh, this guy is spinning. Holy Toledo. Pepper, what do you think is, why do you think Hollywood doesn't know how to tell stories nowadays? She doesn't want to comment. She's too upset. She agrees. But yeah, so I guess the whole thing of this episode of Race Hot Takes was a take that was hot indeed. Get in there. They're just jogging. You go, guys. Get that work in. I'll join you come Sunday. But yeah, it's just, I just wanted, obviously films back then, there were a bunch of issues in society and culture, the way we treated African Americans, Native Americans, and it's still ongoing. that's not, but it was just, the way we treated women too, a lot of bad things. And so we've gotten incrementally better, but it's still a big problem. That's another hot take for another day. But those stories were still true. The way they talked was different. The way they used a phone was different. The way they got around was different. But the truth of how human beings behave was still there. And that's why those stories resonate. And that's why, I don't know how many years later, Wizard of Oz still is a big hit. It's still a classic. It's the difference between something timely and timeless. And so, I guess that'll wrap up this episode of Ray's Hot Takes featuring Pepper. Pepper, any closing remarks to the folks at home? Pepper? She's really upset. She was just staring out the window. It just hits hard. It really does. You shed a tear. You never get, all these movies are up in your brain trying to make you think, trying to fool you into appearing you're dumb and the filmmakers are so smart because you didn't understand what that movie was. But it's really easy to confuse somebody. A 5-year-old can make a movie that confuses somebody. But it's really hard to move people emotionally and to go for that. And I'd rather take a filmmaker that goes for the emotion and swings for the fences on that than just tries to please their ego and try to appear smart by confusing people. Christopher Nolan. Sorry, I meant Tenet. That's another hot take. But yeah. So thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. Thank you, Escalators. Whoo! Almost got him. Whoo, that was close. Wasn't that close, Pepper? Yeah, she agrees. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for hearing this. And you guys have a beautiful and blessed day, because what a world. And I don't mean to leave this on a sour note, because I believe stories will get better. I'm trying to help in that part, but, we just got to do our best, take it one day at a time, just trying to get incrementally better each and every day. And hopefully storytelling will come back to a form of respect and a form of craft. So the films that are put out there can genuinely help us and teach us, how to live a good life. So, yeah. Thank you guys. God bless. I don't have a sign off. And that's the way it is. I'm just kidding. I forget. Was that Walter Cronkite? Somebody. I was going to say the ending of like some movie, but that does not apply to what we were talking about. I'm fine all over. Shut up and deal. Anyway, The Apartment is such a good movie. Thank you guys for watching. I've wasted 18 minutes of your time. But, I mean, not watching, listening. Jeepers creepers. But yeah. Just stand up for what you believe in, I guess.